Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. When you see Charmaine come across your screen, you know you in the right place to be. Welcome, and thank you for taking your time out to view this video. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with Charlie, so I appreciate that, and I definitely don't take it for granted. Because time is definitely your most valuable resource, so don't waste it on bullshit. And speaking of time, I'm gonna try to keep this video down to a good 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Because a lot of the videos that I have up already are pretty long, so I plan to go back to those videos and revisit them and condense them, and I'm just gonna pull out more of the core concepts and the core values and repost them because I do happen to be a very long-winded individual. Oh, but speaking of long-winded, that is what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, is about the breath. Um, because the breath is something that we take for granted, but conscious breathing can definitely change your entire life. So, me myself, I am a fundamentalist. I am a minimalist by trade, except for when it comes to talking, of course. So definitely check out my podcast, Hannibal's at the Gate, HannibalGate.com. Shout out to my co-host, Ali Shakir. I see you out there, baby. What's happening? But if I'm not talking, I definitely like to, keep it down to the bare essentials and figure out the fastest way from A to B. So whenever I got on my path to self-knowledge and self-mastery, I was like, okay, so what's the quickest way for me to level myself up? And I just got down to the three essentials, which is, food, air, water. And the most, I would say, fundamental of these all would definitely be the breath. Because the first thing that you do whenever you pop out of your mother's womb, and the last thing that you do whenever you're about to die is breathe. So breathing, or the air, is, full of life. It is a bridge that is connecting us to, our true selves or our invisible selves. So, it is very important that we, understand what air is actually doing for us, because breathing is like an act of consumption. So you are consuming the energy that is in the air for your invisible bodies, and then you are consuming the air itself for your physical body, to keep it pumping. Like, the lungs are really the pump and the heart is the valve. If we want to, stop and be serious about it, that the breath is everything. Without the breath, we would not be here. So it is the bridge. It is what is going to connect our physical and our non-physical bodies. So if we are not consciously breathing, and then if we're not breathing as this body is so designed to breathe, then we're out of the game. So most people breathe very shallow, and they only breathe from their chest. So you can usually see them breathing there, but they're not really breathing from their diaphragm. So this is a big thing for me. Whenever I first got on the path, I was researching the diaphragm every day because I realized that I never used my diaphragm. My diaphragm was inactive, and most people's diaphragms is inactive because they're not aware of the proper way to breathe. So you definitely want to start breathing from your diaphragm because it's going to pull down your lungs and it's going to allow more air into your body. And so then when the air enters the lungs, now it can, have the combustion. It can meet up with the blood cells, and it can take all of the, waste from the blood cells and get rid of them, and it can do it more efficiently. But if you're not breathing correctly, then you're just sending dirty blood back to all of your organs because they haven't been fully cleansed with the breath. You see what I'm saying? And then if you're not breathing consciously for your invisible bodies, your mental body, emotional body, spiritual body, XYZ, then you don't have, you have a lot of blockages. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't have the full access to yourself because you're not properly aligned. So, that's what I find funny about, a lot of this consciousness or, new age spirituality or awareness or this type of thing. We're always talking about the chakras, but we don't really see how they correspond to the organs or the glands within the body. And then we don't focus on the core essentials, which is, the breath. The breath is always going to be a necessity for you to be a spirit manifested in the flesh, or for you to be alive here in this video game. You see what I'm saying? So it's definitely necessary first that we focus in on how you're supposed to breathe, what it is that the breath does, and then consciously breathing. Because this is what a couple animals do. The dolphin, which actually happens to be my spiritual animal. Shout out to the dolphins. They have to breathe consciously. They don't have a autonomic nervous system that is telling them when to breathe. They have to actually physically go up for air every time they want to breathe because they are mammals in water. So they're not like the fish. They're not breathing underwater. They have to go up for air. So they consciously breathe. So it's like they don't really even sleep. Half of their brain might go to sleep, but the other half is going to be focused on making sure that they are getting the air necessary to, stay alive in this physical dimension. So once I realized this, I was like, okay, so how do you breathe? So I was watching a bunch of videos on diaphragm breathing and how to activate your diaphragm because mine was definitely dead. So I just want to give you guys a quick demonstration because most people when they breathe is and it's only coming to the chest, but you're not getting all the air that's necessary. So you want to definitely breathe from your diaphragm, which is down here. So when you breathe in, the diaphragm pulls down, and then whenever you breathe out, it relaxes and goes back to its natural state. But whenever you're breathing in, it is pulling down your lungs and allowing more air to flow into the body, which is super dope. So I think this is obviously why they don't teach us how to breathe because it breeds psychosis whenever you have a bad posture and then you're not breathing correctly. All of your thoughts are now trash because your body is not energized how it's supposed to be, and all of the electrical currents aren't going off in your body as they are supposed to. Because I like to look at my spine as like an electrical cord, so it's gonna be connecting to all of the rest of my body, my arms and my legs and my head, and it's going to send out those signals. But if my posture is trash and I'm always hunched over and then I'm only breathing from my chest instead of breathing from my stomach, then I mean all of my thoughts are trash, my alignment is all trash, all of my chakras are blocked. So I have a article about breathing on my website, charby.com. It's titled Breath is Life. And on it, I have a couple exercises that I think are necessary for everyone in the world to just have on hand whenever it comes to breathing. So let's just go over some of them right quick. We're going to start with the complete breath. The complete breath is you breathing like whole body breathing because that's what you want to do. It's like you want your whole body to be able to breathe. If your whole body's not breathing and only your chest is breathing, you're not breathing. So we're going to start with the diaphragm. We're going to let air into the diaphragm, and then we're going to fill it up, all through our lungs and then into our chest, and then hold it. And then we're going to let all the air out of our chest and out of our, lower ribs and then out of our diaphragm, and then we're going to hold the breath out. So just like you hold the breath in, you definitely want to hold the breath out. So we start with the stomach, then we go up to the chest, we hold it, we let the chest out, then we let the stomach out, hold it out. Complete breath. So that way it's like you have a full body breath instead of just, and then you're breathing from your nose. It's like your nasal passage is a connection to your mental body, and then your mouth is the connection to your emotional body. So you definitely want to breathe through your nose unless you're doing some type of yoga, then you can cycle it through. We can breathe through the nose and out through the mouth, you know what I'm saying? But breathing from the mouth exclusively is also deadly. This is a fatal error. Don't just breathe through your mouth. So the next one that we're going to do is called the energizing breath or the breath of fire, which happens to be one of my personal favorites because it is so hard to do. Let's see if you guys can see it. But yeah, this breath kills me. So it's just you pumping your diaphragm in and out, but you're doing it at a rapid pace. So if you're a beginner, you don't want to just like start off doing it fast. So I started off like just doing it really slow. And this was part of my, diaphragm activation. But a lot of the Kundalini yoga that you do, it calls for breath of fire. So it's like you do certain poses. So you might be over here like this, and they say, all right, start breath of fire. So you see what I'm saying? And it's like immediately energizing all of your cells because it is pumping air directly into the bloodstream at a rapid rate. So it's awesome. You can't beat that. All right, the next breath that we want to try out is going to be the ocean's breath. This is going to be a cooling breath. Whenever you need to just chill out and you're getting pissed off and shit is going haywire around you. It is a breath that you constrict your throat and you're making a noise. Speaking of noise, but yeah, you want to constrict your throat and you want to make the noise as if you're in the ocean. You see what I'm saying? So you can start off by doing this with your mouth open because it's like, something to catch on with. So this is the noise that you want to make. You just want to make it from your nose. So breathe in. So this is cooling your body off. You know what I'm saying? Like if people piss you off and you're really like 10 and 2, you're really about to jump down somebody's throat. Instead of doing that, you just start breathing, consciously breathing to cool down your body to say, wait a minute, I'm not going to hurt this person. What I'm actually going to do is focus in on my body, focus in on my breath, and realign my thoughts so that I, reach my place of harmony once again. So the last breath that I like to do, it helps me to activate, my left and my right brains and get them to start talking to each other because, as we know, the left side of the brain controls the right side of the body, and then the right side of the brain controls the left side of the body. So there's a breath that you can do where you close one nostril and you breathe in from the other. You hold it in, and then you close this nostril, and you allow the air to come out of this nostril. Exhale, and you breathe in. Close this one. You get it, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to breathe extra hard so that you guys can hear it, but it's like you just want to close this nostril and do one cycle or one repetition from this nostril, and then you're going to close this one and finish the repetition here. So if you do that for like 3 or 4 minutes, like it's really grounding, you know what I'm saying? Like it really helps you to feel like your brains are working together and you feel less bipolar, because most people are naturally bipolar because their brains don't work together. They more so work against each other. You know what I'm saying? So one minute you might feel great and oh yeah, life is good, but then you might have something that puts you in your feelings. So now life sucks and you can't, believe X, Y, Z happened, and you become out of balance because your brains are not working together. You know what I'm saying? So me myself being a predominantly left brain person, I've really been working this past year to just get more exercises so that I can, jump over to right brain with ease and then jump over to left brain and then occupy both spaces at one time. But the way to really do that is through the breath. That is how you basically make yourself present at all times. It's a meditation. You see what I'm saying? So focusing in on the breath, not necessarily, going to automatic state where you're automatically breathing. That's how you avoid automatic reactions. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people have automatic reactions where they automatically react to something without, taking a step back, taking some time to immerse themselves in that moment, focusing in on the breath and saying, like let me let some of these emotions go out of my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Or let me get my mind together. You know what I'm saying? Let me breathe through my mental passages right now. Because what you're talking about is some bullshit. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of our problems could definitely be solved by just focusing in consciously on the breath. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to talk you guys' head off. Check out the link. I'm going to post it in the description. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Awesome.